type of business environment. We have actually two major type of business environment. We have the static and the dynamic environment. For static, it refers to few forces in the environment that are changing to affect business. Among the notable features of static environments are no new technological breakthroughs by current competitors and little activity by public pressure group to influence the organization. While for dynamic environment, it's when a significant number of environmental forces that affect the businesses are changing. Among the features of a dynamic environment are rapidly changing government regulations affecting business, new competitors, difficulties in acquiring raw materials, and continuously changing social culture aspects of the population. Environmental uncertainty. This may be defined as a lack of complete information regarding what exists and what developments may occur in the environment. The uncertainty makes it difficult for managers to perform the following: analyze constituencies and their needs, predict future state of affairs, and understand their potential implications for the organizations. Dimensions of environmental uncertainty. We have complexity. This refers to the number of different factors in the environment, such as information, capital, material, people, and other organizations. Rate of change in these factors. These are the factors in the external environment change from time to time. For instance, income levels and the number of qualified teachers may increase or decrease after a few years. Environmental uncertainty rises as the rate of changes increases. Designs of business organizations. For mechanistic design, an organization with mechanistic design is deemed appropriate for a task that is routine and unchanging. This design is characterized by a vertical structure that typically operates with more centralized authority, many rules and procedures, a precise division of labor, narrow spans of control, and formal means of coordination. While for organic design, an organization with an organic design is appropriate that is non-routine and changing. It is characterized by the following: decentralized authority, fewer rules and procedures, less precise division of labor, wider spans of control, more personal means of coordination. The tasks in organic organizations are completed through group efforts and are adjusted and refined to cope with demands made by the changing environment. Those close to the task are vested with authority to make decisions since they have a more immediate understanding of problems. Organization members exchange information about adjustments in tasks and changes that have occurred in the environment and making communication as primarily horizontal. All right, so here's the illustration. We have here the static environment and dynamic environment. For static environment, it's a mechanistic organization, while for dynamic environment, it's organic organization. Survival strategies in uncertain environments. Application of coping strategies. Coping strategy refers to the transformation of a part or all of the organization to make its activities more compatible with existing environmental conditions. Adaptation environmental control measures. Environmental control refers to management actions to identify and influence environmental factors to obtain more positive effects on organization activities. We have here the two survival strategies: coping and controlling. For coping, we have buffering, smoothing, forecasting, rationing, boundary spanning, structural complexity, as well as executive succession. For controlling, it be creating favorable linkages and manipulating environment. Under creating favorable linkages, we have merger, joint venture, interlocking directorates, executive recruitment, institutional advertising, and resource flows. For manipulating the environment, we can make use of changing elements, lobbying, and forming trade associations. Survival strategies in uncertain environments. Coping strategies are those used to protect internal operations from the harmful effects of changes in the environment. We have one, buffering. This refers to setting up buffers for both input and output sides of organization activities in order to absorb and cope with environmental uncertainty. Programs or practice are instituted to prevent environmental factors from upsetting the production process. Okay, for example, input buffer is a stacked file of fuel by a shipping company to provide some assurance of a hand hampered operation for a certain period. When the production outputs of finished goods are not disposed as fast as they are produced, it may cause disruption in the production activities of the firm. If such disruption will jeopardize operations, management may choose to sell their product at low prices, sometimes even lower than production costs. This action is referred to as buffering on the output side. Smoothing irregular demand is always a problem for many business firms. This is because of difficulty in making adjustments concerning manpower and equipment. This is remedied by smoothing, which refers to efforts involved in reducing changes in the environment. Offering of discounts, for example, during slack seasons, like selling raincoats at big discounts during summer, is one example of smoothing. Third is forecasting. This refers to making predictions, projections, or estimates of future events or conditions in the environment in which the organization operates. If forecasting is effective, the business firm will be able to make the necessary adjustments in its operations to meet changes in the environment. Another is rationing. This happens when the organization ignores some operations and emphasizes others in order to preserve the most critical functions of the technical core. Example, university which temporarily deploys its research personnel to assist in enrollment activities. After the enrollment period, the reassigned employees go back to their permanent units. Boundary spanning. This is the process of creating jobs or roles in which individual employees are required to have a strong communication links within their department with people in other units and often with the external community. The individuals called boundary responders gather and collect critical information which can be used for planning in the technical core. The information gathered can also be used to reduce uncertainty in some areas of operation. Structural complexity. This is when the business adapts to the environment by setting up departments or subsystems that will respond to specific groupings of environmental factors. We have, for example, the production of book publishing company may create another unit that will deal with authors' concerns. Another example is the creation of senior citizens lanes in various government offices and large retail establishments. Another is executive succession. One way of adapting to uncertainty in the environment is the adoption of an effective executive succession. The replacement of a top manager by another manager is referred to as executive succession. The following advantage may be derived from the effective executive succession, enable the organizations to hire executives with a new energy and vitality, provide organization with a way to bring in specific skills needed to analyze and respond to the environment, provide a coordinated means of replacing retiring executives, environmental controlling, creating favorable linkages. Mergers. From a legal point of view, a merger is a legal consolidation of two entities into one entity. Joint ventures or JV is a business arrangement in which two or more parties agree to pool their resources for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. This task can be a new project or any other business activity. And we have examples: San Miguel Corporation, interlocking directorates when some members of the board of directors of one company are also members of another company's board of directors. Such arrangements are called interlocking directorates. For example, the J Summit Holdings Incorporated and the Jerusalem Bina Corporation. Executive recruitment. When companies hire executives who have prior experience in the industry, it is called executive recruitment. For example, Wilma Valle Galvante is the current head of TV5's entertainment division and former GMA Network senior vice president for entertainment. Institutional advertising. This type of advertising is designed to build goodwill for a company among stakeholders, employee, distributors, the public, and the government. Resource of flows. This refers to the pattern of resource exchanges between the organization and the environment. In the attempt to control the environment, the manager can make important decisions on the pattern of exchanges. These options fall under any of the following. It could be frequency of exchanges or quantity involved in exchanges. Manipulating the environment, changing elements, lobbying. This term refers to the act of attempting to influence business and government to create legislation or conduct an activity that will help a particular organization. Forming trade associations. Members of the trade associations pool their resources to influence government policies affecting their business.